y'all. Welcome to the Honest to Goodness podcast,
where we give you our honest opinions
on good entertainment. I'm Morgan.
I'm Kerri.
I'm Nicole. And without further ado,
here's today's episode.
We hope you enjoy.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Honest to Goodness podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, joined by my wonderful co-host, Kerri, to talk about Hallmark Channel's Twas the Night Before Christmas.
This was such a cute movie. You know me. Me. I am a production geek, so I'm loving the production movies they're putting out.
Yeah. It was really good.
Oh, man. It really was. Of course, I love Tori DeVito from, was it the
Christmas
It was either
Promise.
the best or the greatest it was either the best or the greatest Christmas party ever that she did with Steve Lund.
I haven't seen that one.
It's
yet.
an older one. Like that one had to be one of the first Hallmark movies I ever saw. So, but yeah, I love her from that one. And I know she's done some other good ones, but that's like the one that sticks in my head. So, what did you like the most about this movie?
I thought it was different while still being the same kind of Hallmark movie, but it was really good.
Yeah,
it was a different kind of storyline.
Yeah,
and I thought that, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say I thought Zane did a great job too in his role, and I know him from Riverdale.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him as an actor, but I thought he did really good.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I know him from is Riverdale.
Yeah. No, I love it when there is a show within a show like this, where they're putting on a play or whatever. I love that. Which, like I said, I'm a production geek, so that kind of makes sense. But
yeah.
Well, do we want to just jump right into it?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. Any first thoughts that you have?
All right. Oh man. I said let's just talk our way through the movie on this one. So we had the movie opening up. With Madison walking down the street in the Victorian Stroll in Troy, New York. And she has written a play called The Trial Before Christmas with her friend Haley.
Yeah. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah. I obviously, trying to write scripts and stuff now. Yeah. Again, I'm like geeking out the entire time I'm watching this movie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Same.
So I find out that Madison is an actress that used to play a character named Marley Wilkins when she was a little girl. And her catchphrase,
great googly.
So cute. Like I would say I would give that show a shot just to see, what it was about.
Yeah.
Yes. And we find out that Connor Avery is starring in the play. And that he and Madison starred together in a movie called Christmas Time Cupid. And apparently there was a special kiss in that movie that everybody loved. Y'all have been around our podcast long enough to know this kind of stuff gets dissected.
Yeah.
I mean, it just does. So I love when Haley looks at her and is like, that kiss. She's like, oh, stop. Like, don't even get started.
Yeah. That was really funny.
So there's been previous conversation about this.
Yeah. I liked seeing Zane as a dad in this. I thought he did a great job. I kind of wish we had gotten to see more roles with him and his on-screen daughter.
Um, with his character.
What was it you said? You cut out.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to
Okay.
do this from my Wi-Fi hotspot at home.
It's okay.
I said I thought they did a pretty good balance.
Yeah.
His character as a
Mhm.
dad, as a professional man,
Mhm.
but also as somebody that he isn't just trying to think how to word this. It's not your typical Hallmark movie where he is just completely making
Yeah.
an about-face change because of the girl, like because
Yeah.
Madison. He's
Mhm.
already considering going back to law, which he went to law school. So
Mhm.
he's already considering becoming a lawyer because he wants to spend
Mhm.
more time with his daughter. Yeah, the moving
Yeah.
to New York part just kind of happens to fit in, but
Yeah. Mhm.
I thought they did a really good job with his character.
I think so too. Yeah.
This. And I love that he calls his daughter, her name's Josie, but I
J-Bug.
love that yes, so cute.
Yeah.
Cute. I mean, you hardly actually hear her real name in the movie
Yeah. You do. Or
because
you
he just
don't.
calls her
Yeah.
J-Bug the
Mhm.
whole time.
Yeah.
We have Madison's agent, Walter, that wants her to keep acting, but she's wanting to pursue directing, and he's
Directing.
concerned
Yeah.
for her career because
Mhm.
of that, which
Yeah.
is understandable, but that's a
Mhm.
very common thing with actors is for them to start transitioning. They'll start, kind of producing
Yeah.
stuff they're in or whatever, and then they start
Yeah.
moving towards directing. It's very,
Yeah.
very common
Yeah.
for
I
them
thought the
to do.
line was funny from Walter when he said, "Why not start directing
Yes.
with a short? Why not start directing with a short like every other actor? Phone cameras can do so much these days. Why does it got to be a play in upstate New York where it's cold?"
Yeah. I love how he's like pointing out the fact it's cold. Like, you're an idiot. You're leaving LA to go to New York City or New York, upstate New York.
Yeah.
It's freaking cold up there. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And then we see that Haley has
Haley.
to go back to LA because
Do a
she had written
rewrite.
she had written a movie script, a Christmas movie script called The Jolliest Holiday.
Mhm.
So she's not going to be there to help Madison put on the play. She'll be back for a
Mhm.
performance, and this is a one night only play.
Mhm.
It's like Christmas Eve, I believe.
Yeah.
So Haley won't be there to help her in the
Mhm.
the production side of it. She'll just be there for the performance.
Mhm.
Of course, I love how she quotes "Twas Night Before Christmas" when they see Connor come walking in, and she says, "And to what should my wondering eyes appear?" Madison says, "Oh, you made it." Haley says, "Are you smiling?" She's like, "He smiled." She's like, "You smile first." Like it's the whole
Yeah.
little, and then he comes in with that English
Mhm.
accent. "Hello, ladies." And she was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
that was really funny.
hey, hi." Like,
Yeah.
and he's wearing this little hat, and he says, "It's
Mhm.
cool, huh? Makes me feel like John Steed from the Avengers." And Haley says, "It's giving me Dad from Mary Poppins." He's like,
Yeah.
and now I can't unsee it.
I see the dad from Mary Poppins more than John Steed, although I've never seen the Avengers, so I don't know what to compare
Yeah.
it to.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't ever seen. Well, I don't know if I've seen any of the Avengers movies or not. I honestly don't know. But like, this was another thing I loved about this movie was all the references to other movies and stuff like Mary Poppins, Oklahoma, Sound of Music, like just all these little references.
Yeah. I knew you would like the Sound of Music references.
Oh yeah, that was like my favorite movie growing up. My brother hated it. I would get it every time we went to the library, and I would sing the songs for a week after we got it, and yeah, he hated it. Oh, and I missed one.
Go ahead.
Yes, no, go.
I was just going to say, I like the line from Madison when she says, which is probably a good thing because it's an American poem and you're playing an American.
Yeah. She's like, okay, where did you come across with this English thing? Like,
yeah.
Where did that come out?
Yeah.
But then when I was mentioning movies just now, I forgot another one that got mentioned because Lena says I was watching My Fair Lady to get into character, and I just love Audrey Hepburn, so posh. And I was thinking maybe that's how I should do my voice for this show. Yeah. Madison says, actually, Lena, hi. You play a modern prosecutor, so no accents. And she looks at Connor and says, that goes for you too. And he's like,
too. Yeah. That's really funny.
How terrible was Lena?
What?
Line.
Oh.
How terrible was Lena at lines? Although I will say, bravo to that actress, because honestly, it's harder to act like you don't know how to do something when you know how to do it than it is to just do it. So I will give her that.
Yeah. But face palm emoji, like.
Yeah. Terrible. Like, I'm the person that I'm like, I don't really care much about being in front of the camera, but I'm a snob when it comes to, like, I'm pretty sure I could be a pretty decent director because I'm one that can look at lines and be like, okay, no, you need to say it this way, you need to do this, you need to be sitting for this part at this line, at this particular word, you get up and start moving, you know, whatever. Like I can look at that and I can picture it, but I don't particularly care that much about being in front of the camera. But yeah, I've helped put on like some church plays and stuff. And when you have that kind of brain and you're dealing with people that can care less and they're putting no personality into their lines whatsoever and stuff, it is so annoying. So annoying.
Yeah.
I love when Connor's like, so she's so sweet, but why was she cast? Like,
I was about to say that, yeah. And she was cast because Lena is the producer Jefferson's girlfriend. So
yeah. So what was it? They said that let's just say we couldn't do it without her. Like,
yeah,
you know, he wasn't going to put money into this if we didn't cast his girlfriend. So Madison said, but you know what? I took this play to give myself a challenge, and Lena is, well, a challenge. Connor says, yes, she is. And Haley says, I admire your affinity for understatement. Like,
yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So Jefferson, he tells Madison that Lena just needs a chance, just like Madison needs a chance for directing this play. Then he starts making changes to the script. He doesn't think the romance is working, and he wants there to be an obvious good guy, bad guy. What did you think about that?
Well, coming from a creator's standpoint, it's difficult when people that aren't writers or whatever, like that they don't create in the same way that you did. It's difficult to have them come and start like trying to tell you how to do your job when they don't do that job. And you're just kind of like, okay, but a lot of times if you sit with it for a little while, it can, you might can pull something from what they say. So I guess I could kind of relate to how Madison responded. Like, initially she's not very happy about it, and then she starts worrying about it. And then when Connor kind of helps her start dissecting it, she actually starts getting excited for the changes. And
I like how she says, I mean, don't worry about the chemistry. Connor will bring the chemistry.
I love how he just looks at her like, what?
I cannot right now.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that line was so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
And then when another mention was the Meryl Streep thing.
I was about to say that. Go ahead. Yeah.
They're talking about, all the changes that Jefferson wants to make. And she's like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do all of this and teach Lena how to act in 10 days. And Connor says she doesn't need to be Meryl Streep. She just needs to say her lines and not bump into furniture, preferably without an English accent.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I love how Connor offers to help Madison with her research of Henry Livingston Jr. and Clement Clark Moore to see if they can find their good guy, bad guy angle. Yeah,
because the poem "Twas the Night Before Christmas," anytime it has been published under Clark Moore's name. So, but there is a debate whether or not he is the actual author and if Henry Livingston Jr. is the actual author. So the premise of this play that they're doing is to determine that. And I thought it was really cool that their jury was literally just people from the audience. So this play could literally have a different outcome every single time they do it.
Yeah.
And that to me is genius. Like, just that was a really cool element in that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we have Haley and Madison on the FaceTime call. And Madison mentions Connor again. And Haley says, "What was that about Connor?" Madison says, "What?" She said, you said you'd let me know what Connor and I find." And she's like, "He's helping me do research." And she's like, "Oh, carrying your books to class." She's like, "Aren't you too busy for a misguided innuendo?" One should never be too busy for innuendo. Misguided. You have your version, I have mine. The banter between those two was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think of sorry about that. What did you think of Connor being there for breakfast? Like the Connor Edna like
That was cute. I like how Madison says, "You're here early. Good morning, Edna." And then Edna says, "Good morning. Well, I insisted that Connor come here for breakfast. You know what? The hotel where he's staying at, it just has the worst buffets, right?" And then Connor says, "The waffles are perfect." Edna, you're perfect. Madison, well, I see charming Connor is back in fine form. Connor, 2 years post-divorce, I'm really just trying to put myself out there. Madison, all right, well, I'll let Edna know. Connor, please do.
Yeah. I love when he says the waffles are perfect. That Edna just like no hesitation.
No.
You're perfect.
Perfect.
It's like she walks off.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It is so clear she is fangirling over him, and it's hilarious. Like she's a married woman, and she is totally crushing on him.
Yeah.
It's like typical, like any of us with a Hallmark star type. You know, it's not a for real. Well, just kidding.
Yeah,
but they're celebrity crush. Celebrity crush is what it's called. Like it's not an actual crush. It's called celebrity crush.
Yeah.
But it's really, really cute. And then so they're at the library. And I love the I didn't make notes on all this part, but I love the interaction between Madison and Connor in the library. It was so cute. But Madison runs into an old man claiming to be Henry Livingston Jr.
Yeah.
She takes him for a cosplayer, but she gets the idea to have Livingston's ghost come back and testify at his own trial. And like just how excited she got over that. She's like, do you know where this theater's at? Like he didn't have a choice. Like he was in the play.
Yeah. We get a Christmas Carol reference with the line from Jefferson when he says, I love it. It's Law and Order meets the Ghost of Christmas Past. It's Dickens with a deposition.
Yeah. There are just so many old references in this. I love it. I love it when they do that. Like that just I didn't really understand this line, but I thought it was hilarious when Livingston is talking to Jefferson and he goes, you're a bit of butter upon bacon, aren't you? And Jefferson's like,
that was funny.
Well, don't tell my cardiologist. He doesn't know how to take it either.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's funny, but I don't know what it's supposed to mean. Unless he means like he's over the top or something.
Yeah. It could, yeah.
If anybody has any ideas of what that means,
let us
know in the
comments.
comments.
Yeah.
Because neither one of us really know what it means. It's a good laugh, but I don't know. So Walter tells Madison that the producers are willing to wait until after the play for her to take an acting role. So Walter is not giving up on trying to keep her as an actress.
Yeah.
What about Connor? Again, I love the Connor Edna thing, but what about Connor helping Edna bake cookies?
That was cute too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is when Connor says, I have a 7-year-old daughter. Baking cookies is the easiest skill I've learned along the way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you think about that. Like, you know, he says he's only 2 years post-divorce. So he hasn't necessarily been a single dad all of her growing up years, but we don't know what their situation was before that either. So, but yeah, I mean, you think about like all the things. He seems like, you know, gotta go here. He puts me a little bit in mind of Nathan with Allie, like just a good, devoted girl dad.
Yeah.
That kind of the imagery that gets put in my head that you know he would do anything for her.
Yeah.
Well, almost anything for her, and you know doesn't mind like, not expecting her to, not trying to raise her as a son, per
Yeah.
se, that, he's actually like willing to get on her level and, raise her as his little girl. I love that. And then of course we have some really good banter or really good exchange between Madison and Connor here when Madison says, "You're really making yourself at home, huh?" And Connor says, "Well, I could probably get you a matching apron if you like." She says, "Are you flirting with me?" He's like, "Do you want me to be?" She says, "Yes. Sorry, I'm having such a hard time writing the romance part of this play. I mean, am I so out of practice that I can't even write banter anymore?" He says, "Can I help?" She says, "Tell me something romantic." Like, no hesitation. He says, "Our kiss in Christmas Time Cupid was my favorite on-screen kiss." And she just stops. She's like, "I meant, like, tell me a romantic story."
Yeah. That
Connor
was so
says,
funny.
"Yeah. Well, okay, that's embarrassing." She's like, "No, it was a great kiss, a great movie." He's like, "Movie kiss, right? That's what I was saying." She's like, "Yeah."
That was one of my
Not
favorite scenes in the
awkward.
movie.
Yeah.
It was
Not
awkward,
awkward
but it was
whatsoever.
cute.
Yeah. Well, I think it's awkward cute because like you can tell there is such tension between the two of them. Like such attraction between the two of them. So when she's like, "Are you flirting with me?" And he's like, "Do you want me to be?" He's almost like, "Do I have your permission to?" Because like, he knows she doesn't date actors. So he knows he's off limits to her and he's not going to cross that boundary. But heck, if she's willing to open the door, he's running through the gate, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then we have Lena in rehearsals again. I mean, I can't say anything about the ad-libbing throwing her off because, I mean, it would be too. I don't think that fast. Like,
no.
I mean, probably taking improv classes or something would help with that. But, I mean, I would be thrown off.
I would too, yeah.
And, I mean, you're not just having to respond to the other person, you're having to try to figure out how to tie what they just said into the next part of play. Like you don't just respond to them, you're trying to get it back to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a lot of pressure right there if you think about it. And we find out that Lena was a duet and in Oklahoma her freshman year of college. I think it was, looked it up earlier. I want to say it was Gloria Graham that played that role. And that I think it was Gloria Graham, but I could be wrong. That played that role in the movie. I looked it up earlier, but I don't remember for sure. I've only seen the movie like once. Shocker. But as much as I love old musicals, I've actually only seen that once.
I've never seen that one.
I'll have to rewatch it. I don't remember it actually being my favorite. Like as much as I love musicals, I don't remember it being my favorite. But maybe if I gave it another chance, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of Madison's teaching methods for Lena?
I thought that was great. And Lena did a great job after. Madison helped her.
Yeah. Everybody has their own thing that works for them, I think. Like, I know people have asked me, about like writing and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what, just do it. Because for me, it doesn't really work to have this big old board with a bunch of sticky notes all over it and point by point by point by point. That does not work for me. For somebody else,
Yeah.
they might have to have that to keep them on track.
Mm-hmm.
I might be able to, sometimes I can write straight through. Sometimes I will get I might be at the beginning of the story and I'll get an idea and I'll jump to the end of the story, and then I'll jump to the middle and then I'll go back to the beginning and tie everything,
Yeah.
It's scattered for me. But everybody has, especially when you're trying to memorize lines, like, okay, in the Mega Man series that we were coming into September, I had 2 lines. Just when like somebody's walking in, and I think the first one is just, "Hey, how are you today?" And then the second one that I have is like later on, and this is if they don't get cut out. But the second one that I have, neither me nor the director could remember if I was supposed to say "hey" or "bye" at that particular moment. Like somebody's walking past me, so I mean, it could have been either one, but it was just kind of hilarious because he's the one that wrote it, and neither one of us could remember which way the line was supposed to go.
That's really funny.
But he was also telling me to call the guy Barney, and I'm like, no, he's not in. Like, the guy's supposed to be a tribute artist. I'm like, he's Warren right here. He's not Barney. He's himself. He's not, he's not a tribute artist at that particular point. So it doesn't need to be Barney. It needs to be Warren, So we went back and forth for like 5 minutes trying to figure out this line before we ever even shot a 2-word line.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But yes, I love the putting together the imagery.
Yeah. Jumping ahead a little bit, Jefferson gets Broadway legend Sophia Ferrantino to come to a rehearsal to see the play. Everything goes smoothly until Clement Clark Moore shows up in his own defense, unplanned, and Lena is able to ad-lib and carries it out beautifully, like we had mentioned when he was practicing.
Yeah. The scene on the couch
That was
with, oh man, that was so precious.
Yeah.
Do you want to read off some of those lines?
Sure. If you want to read one person, I can read the other. I could be, I'll be Madison if you want to be Connor.
Okay. Connor says, Josie and my mom will be here tomorrow.
Is that what she looks like now?
She has grown up so fast. I know every parent says that.
No. She was such a little girl when she used to come to set 2 years ago.
I know. And I've tried to be there as much as I can, and I still feel like I've missed out.
So that's what the law books are really about.
Maybe. I mean, lawyers don't have to travel as much for work.
Yeah.
One of the things I admire about you the most, you could have coasted for a long time being the great googly girl, but you reinvented yourself. First with the movies, now with this. It's inspiring.
Inspiring? I don't think anyone's ever said that to me before.
I find that impossible to believe.
Tell me something romantic.
This line right here, oh my gosh. He says, looking at you right now, I feel like my heart is going to beat out of my chest.
Same.
Like, oh,
this is another top
my
favorite thing.
God. Like, can you imagine sitting on a couch having this conversation with somebody?
This is another top favorite thing.
Yes, for sure. But I mean, it just shows that like both of them so wanting this to happen, and they're not letting it happen.
Yeah, the looks between them were.
Oh damn. Yeah. Yes.
Wait, like, and then just wait until the end. You know what scene I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh man. Again, the little exchange between Edna and Connor when she says, "What do they say about watched kettles?" And he says, that they miss their kids, because he's like standing there just staring out the window, waiting for Josie to get there.
Yeah.
And then of course he has the Christmas tree delivered so they could decorate together. I love when she says, "Dad, are we going to the Christmas costume festival thing?" Says, "We are absolutely going to the Christmas costume festival thing." Like doesn't even correct her on what it's called. I love that.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah.
I
And then
like how
Madison helps them decorate. Yeah.
the tree. Yeah.
Yes. So cute. And then when they're getting ready to go to the Christmas costume festival thing, Lena shows up.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, this was actually something earlier, and I think we skipped over the line, but that a conversation between Edna and Connor, when I know how to, that they're discussing the fact that Connor has an offer for another movie, and Edna says, "Oh no, and it's the week before Christmas and you can't do the play." Like, you tell this woman has watched Hallmark movies, okay?
Yeah.
But when Lena shows up, she tells Madison that Jefferson filmed part of the rehearsal and sent the video to a producer friend. And then she shot an audition and she got the second lead role, which means she can't do the play because of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
So, rug jerked out from under you. Like, it's a day before the play?
A day
at
before,
this point?
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lead actress. But they're going to have to use their understudy.
Yes. Oh man. So Haley shows up again. She was already on her way back when Jefferson called her. They're discussing the fact that they don't have a lead actress, and Haley says, "We're going to have to use our understudy." Madison says, "Yeah, Madison, go ahead."
Understudy? We don't have an understudy. We couldn't afford an understudy. Madison, we have an understudy. Go ahead.
Madison says, no. The whole reason I chose to do this play was so I could step away from acting. She said the whole Yeah, go. You do Haley, I'll do Madison.
Okay, sounds good. The whole reason you chose to do this play was so that you could reinvent yourself as a director. That doesn't mean you can't act too. Bring a little part of the old you into the new you. Nothing comes from nothing.
Did you just quote Sound of Music to me?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to notice. This is your baby, Mads. The Christmas show that meant so much to you.
Yeah, and then there's a little bit of dialogue, and then Haley's like, "Climb every mountain, ford every stream," and Madison's like, "No." She's like, "Follow every rainbow." No, like, just stop.
I almost started singing the song when she said that.
I love that song.
Climb every mountain. That sounded horrible, by the way, but whatever.
The Reverend Mother that was singing that in Sound of Music, wasn't it?
What was it you cut out for a second?
I said, I think that was the Reverend Mother that was singing that.
I think so.
in the
I
Sound
haven't
of
seen
Music
the
concert.
sound of. I haven't seen it in such a long time, but I think that's who it was. Yeah.
I think it was because she was trying to tell Maria that she needed to go back
Yeah.
to Captain Fun's
Yeah.
Trap.
Now I kind of want to watch The
Oh.
Sound of Music.
We know what's on our list next. I haven't watched it in forever either, honestly. Like I still can quote a lot of it. I still can sing the songs. I have not actually watched it in a long time, really.
Yeah.
So it is the day of the play at this point. And Walter shows up, and I love that he tells Madison that he told the TV producers that she wasn't interested in that part. And he says, I suppose I just always he's talking about, I guess, when her dad must have been had told him to look out for her. And he says, I suppose I just always figured he meant financially, for security. But maybe I can do a better job in a lot of other ways too, creatively. And Madison thanks. And I love that his last line there was, go make him proud.
Yeah.
It's really, really sweet.
So Madison is the leading lady, and the chemistry between her and Connor is obvious. Those looks when she says, you think I don't know? The only reason you took this case was because you knew you'd see me again. Guilty as charged.
But the original line from early in the movie, I mean, he ad-libbed that because the original line when they were doing their first read-through was, you wish. Because Lena was like, that's mean, so he actually ad-libbed that because he's talking to Madison at this point. Like, he was literally just talking to Madison. He wasn't talking to her character. He was literally talking to her in that particular moment. And she knew it.
Yes. I have to say, when I was watching this movie, and even before the movie came out and the promo was airing, I was like, I can't wait to this movie so that I can say that line.
Right?
Or talk about that line.
Yes.
That is probably like one of my top favorite moments in this movie. I know I've already mentioned two, but
no, I mean, this whole movie was really good. It was well written, definitely well acted. I can't say that I even really noticed anything lacking in production. Like, a lot of times I'll point out little mistakes or whatever, and I can't say I really even noticed anything here. But when it comes time for Henry Livingston Jr. to take the stage,
he's not there.
Clement Moore shows up instead, which literally changes everything they have to do right here. I love that the judge goes, anybody got anything? That was a question. Like, that was not an ad-lib line. That was a legit question at that point. Like, does somebody know what we're doing? Because I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. And Moore, when he is giving his testimony, he says, have people not doubted you before, Miss Rush? Placed you in a well-defined perception based on limited information that you ultimately found profoundly inaccurate? Miss Rush, you and others have researched me and Major Livingston through books and articles and presume to know us. You yourself are known to a great many through the written words of people who have never met you. Would you say that their depictions are accurate? And then, of course, Madison says no. And then Moore says, then in this, we are in accord.
That little speech right there to me was very powerful because it does
It
show,
was,
you know, like I feel like I'm kind of that way. Like I feel like you kind of have to get to know me before you can actually understand
yeah.
certain things about me. You know, some people are more of just, you know, what you see is what you get. And I'm that way, but I guess kind of being an introvert
Yeah.
and, you know, stuff I've been through in my life and whatever, you might kind of have to get to know me enough to know those things to understand why I would think the way that I do, or, you know, respond to something the way that I do, or whatever that might not make sense otherwise.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's just kind of, you know, pointing out, how do you feel about things that other people say about you? Like, you know, do you think other people know you, know the real you from what others say about you? And, you know, just kind of pointing that out, I thought was very, very powerful. I also thought it was interesting that his story varied slightly from the time that he told it during the rehearsal. He added a couple of things that Lena had brought up against him in her ad-libbing during the rehearsal. So, but he insists that he loved his children so much that he was inspired to write a poem for them, even if it was unlike any of his other work.
Yeah.
And of course, he is, you know, still talking to Madison, and he says, "I'm sure you, like Mr. Avery, must understand what it's like to have more than one interest in one's pursuits. Is that not so?" You know, just kind of pointing out. And I think that's something people forget too. Like, people put themselves and others in a little box. And I don't know, I've never been one to fit inside anybody else's mold, I guess. You know, so like for me, there's not one particular thing that I'm like, yeah, that's it. This is what I'm going to do. I have interest in several different areas, and I'm okay with that. And you know, but I mean, the look between the two of them right there too, though, between Connor and Madison. Quote unquote conflict of interest if they were actual lawyers. Was it was it Darrow and Darrow where they actually like it's actually like a break in the you know and before they come back to the trial that's going on, they have agreed during this break to start dating. And they come back in and they're telling the judge.
I think so. I haven't watched that in a long time, but I think so.
I haven't either, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is Darrow and Darrow.
Kimberly Williams Paisley, who of course is Ashley Williams' sister, she's the lead in Darrow and Darrow.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that Sophia showed up for the performance because she had said that she wouldn't be able to, that she would only be able to make it to the rehearsal. But she said that. Go ahead.
I like when she says, "I especially loved all the flirtation between the two leads." And Connor says, "Me too."
Yeah. Again, that's him talking. That's not the character. That's him.
And Madison says, "It's new."
Yeah. Of course,
not
Cynthia
like that,
says
but
like,
yeah,
no.
I just had to be comical with that. It's new.
Yeah. No, I thought the hair flip was a good touch. So yeah. We're gonna get you in a Hallmark movie yet. Sophia wants to sponsor the play annually in Troy and tells Madison that she wants to talk to her after the new year about other possibilities as a director. So So did you agree with the jury's verdict, which was 9-1, that Clement Clark Moore was the author?
Hmm.
And by the way, by the fact that Edna says, well, I guess this means you'll have to come back next year, I'm assuming she was the one against the 9 that he wasn't.
That's hard. Maybe, probably for Moore, because he had a pretty powerful testimony.
He did, but honestly, the fact that his changed a little bit.
Yeah, that's what confused me. That's what's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I felt like Lena brought up some really good points in her ad-libbing questioning of him during the rehearsal, and then the fact that he added those points to his testimony later shows that he was, like, to me, says that he was kind of trying to cover his tracks, per se,
That's
and
true.
not leave any room to be questioned about it.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe I changed my answer. So Henry Livingston Jr.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the interaction between the two ghosts right there was hilarious.
That was funny.
That was in a Christmas party. I guess tomorrow.
Yeah.
He did. Prove it. I will next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would really
okay.
I would really love to see a sequel of this the next year and see the other side of it.
Okay, we totally missed this, or I don't know if we've gotten to it yet, but we have to mention the hand kiss after Madison says, "What do you say, counselor?" And Connor says, "No objection."
Yeah. Yeah. What is so sweet about that? I don't know. What is so sweet about a hand kiss?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know what it is, but it is precious. But yeah, that was at the very end of the play.
It doesn't beat it, but it's pretty daggum close to the hand kisses from Oliver to Shane.
Yeah.
It's pretty daggum close.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one in the road less traveled.
Yeah.
It's it. I'm done. Done.
And then after,
sorry, I had to mention that.
No. I'm glad you did. But after the play, when they're walking, yes, so cute. When she says, "I love Christmas time in New York," the fact that they're holding hands right here is adorable because they're still not actually together at this point. So cute. But she says, "I love Christmas time in New York." He says, "I know. I can't wait to be here full time." She says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, I thought I'd move to New York, past the bar." And she's like, "I know. Would you just kiss me already?"
I thought you didn't date actors. Good thing you're a convincing lawyer. And the end of the movie. Scene.
So cute. That's a print.
Yeah. And scene.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. So cute.
That's a good movie. What would you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 10. Honestly, like, I really, really loved it. Which, like I said, I'm a production geek, so I loved that element, and I loved like all the references to like Sound of Music, My Fair Lady, Oklahoma. So all of that. So yeah, this one rates pretty high with me.
Yeah. Same.
What about you? Yeah.
Probably 10 out of 10. I think it will be in my top 10. I have to say, picking my top 10 this year has been probably the hardest ever.
Yeah. I
Like, for
don't know,
Christmas
honestly.
movies.
I have,
Christmas movies.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have actually gone through and tried to rate them, which I got behind on them. So I haven't watched all of them to actually be able to form an opinion. But like, I still have not watched Holiday Spectacular. I still need to watch that one.
It's really good.
But here's the hard question. If we're talking production movies,
Mm-hmm.
between this one or Lights,
Mhm.
Camera, Christmas.
Oh, you're gonna make me pick Kerri Word.
Dang. I feel like Lights, Camera, Christmas would have to win, but man.
That's really hard because they're both really good.
They are. And like, there's elements of each one of them that I like better than the other one. But
Mm. Really, Kerri?
I feel like between the two, it would have to be Lights, Camera, Christmas for me, just because of the.
Yeah.
It's like just barely. Like, it is so close.
Yeah.
So close.
So close.
I guess I feel like I relate more to Lights, Camera, Christmas.
Yeah. Because you worked on a movie set before, or just a set in general.
Yeah. I've never done anything with theater, well, except for like, church plays, which are tiny, but I mean, I love Kimberly Sustad and Tori DeVito.
Yeah.
They're both very well written, very well produced, very, very well directed, very well cast.
This top 10
So,
this year.
Yeah.
I have switched, swapped so many times already. I can't even count.
Yeah.
How many times?
Hallmark has blown it out of the water this year, and I've said this before, and I will say it again. I'm very proud of like Hallmark and Great American Family for throwing in some slightly different storylines this year. Like, it's not quite so pat. There have been some slight differences in stuff this year. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah. I still wish they wouldn't do as many because it does get a bit overwhelming, but they have done a great job with most of them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even ones that I didn't like for, like personal belief reasons, I wanted to like because they were, overall good, like really good. But there were just certain things that I couldn't agree with. So, that knocked it way down on my list. But yeah.
I will say my top 3 are a lock, but everything from 4 to 10 is like.
What are your top 3?
Number 1, The Gift of Peace. Number 2, my grown-up Christmas list. Now I'm including Christmas in July movies. And number 3, 5 More Minutes. I'm at Sight Beat.
I still have not watched 5 More Minutes. I'll try to do that tonight, maybe. Of course, I love Ashley Williams as well, and I loved 5 More Minutes last year. So the sequel, I'm sure, will be really good.
That was my number 1 movie last year.
Yeah, I feel like Gift of Peace is going to rank pretty high for me this year. I don't 100% know. Like I said, I'll kind of have to finish watching some of these before I can kind of lock in a top 10 or whatever.
But from 4 to 10 for me, it's all like switch, swap.
Yeah.
Consistently. I'm like, I don't know which ones to put where because there's so many I like.
Yeah, I mean, they've been so good. And I mean, we talked about this, like how overwhelming it's been with there being so many. But it's like there's good ones from all these channels, so we can't just say, okay, we're just gonna do Hallmark and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. Like we're just gonna stick to these two channels because Great American Family has done some great movies. I know we'll be covering another one of those soon. And then Up TV has done some really good movies. There's been some really good ones on Lifetime. So it's like we can't say we're not gonna do these others because they're all good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have that they're all so good. So I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really was. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap this one up, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this movie as much as we did, because we definitely, this one's definitely, I would say definitely in our top 10 for sure of the movies from this year. And we'll be back soon with a few more Christmas movie recaps, and then we'll probably do like a few individual recaps, and then maybe one or two like honorable mention episodes where we, kind of talk about a few different movies at a time.
We even thought about doing a top 10 Hallmark Christmas movies this year. Now that will like a whole episode on our top 10, like counting down, like 10, 9, 8, and we can combine both Hallmark and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries.
Yeah. That one's going to get a little heated because we're all going to have different opinions on which ones.
Especially Morgan, we're looking at you. We love you though.
We've missed you. Yeah, she's got a really busy week this week, so she wasn't able to record with us. But anyway, we love you guys, and we'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye.